Good evening. It's 6 o'clock and our meeting will start now. It is February 13th, 6 o'clock. May we have an order call? Work order. See how good I am? Okay.
Good evening, members of the Public Safety Commission. So we will start off with the oath. We have 3 brand new members to the commission as well as 2 returning ones. So with that said, if I can have all 5 of you please stand and raise your right hand. Okay. Do you, Charles Lance, Myrna Flores, Donna Lozano, Michael Rizzio, and Ray Sanchez, do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic? That you will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California?
I do.
That you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion?
I do.
And that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which you're about to enter?
Yes, I do.
All right. Congratulations and welcome.
Okay. Okay. Roll call. Election of chairman and vice chairman. Should we have roll call first before?
Yes. Commissioner Flores.
Present.
Commissioner Lance.
Present.
Commissioner Lozano.
Here.
Commissioner Rizzio.
Present.
And Commissioner Sanchez.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now at the selection of chairman and vice chairman. We need nominations for, shall I go on, Gerald? We need nominations for the chairman. Who will make the first nomination?
I nominate Donna.
I nominate Donna.
Whoa.
Nominate Donna.
Whoa, I thank you. I guess I'm the chairman and now we need a vice chairman. I nominate Mike Rizzio.
If we can go back to chair real quick.
Oh.
Okay, so it was motioned by, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I did.
Okay. And then who was the second?
Charles.
Kind of like a tie.
Yeah. Carol.
Okay. Now on your screens, you should see buttons to cast your vote.
Oh, I can't even read.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Now we can do the vice chair.
So again, I'm chairman, thank you. Nominations for vice chairman, I nominate Mike Rizzio.
I second it.
A second. Thank you.
Yay. Because he has an Italian last name. Okay, it seems like we all went for that, so we need to vote again on the board.
I'm just waiting for Commissioner Rizzio.
Short. Can't read.
Commissioner Rizzio.
Do you-
Okay, thank you. Motion passes unanimously.
Okay. Shall I go on? We would like to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Would we stand? Myrna, would you like to
Sure.
lead us?
Place your right hand on top of your heart. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know. Okay, thank you. Do we have anyone to have public comments? Gerald?
I don't have any speaker cards unless, okay.
Okay, so I don't need to go through that whole thing there. Okay, Public Safety Commissioner orientation. What is that?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, if we skipped the approval of the agenda, if we can.
Where is it?
It's right after Pledge
Oh,
of
you're right.
Allegiances.
I am so sorry. Well, I'm new at this. Okay, we need to approve the agenda from last month. How does everything look? Has everyone had a chance to read it? Is it okay? So we need a, okay. Okay. There we go. 4.
Motion passes unanimously.
What?
Motion passes to approve the
Okay.
agenda. So now we can go on to
Okay,
the...
now we could go to Public Safety Commissioner orientation.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the commission, good evening. I would also like to introduce Tuan Vu, who is our Assistant City Attorney, so him and I will be tag teaming on this item.
Oh, thank you.
So I wanted to start off with some general information about the city that you may already know. The city is a charter city, and just to give a little explanation about that, so charter cities operate under its own charter, sort of like a constitution rather than general law. To an extent, charter cities have the ability to govern independently on municipal affairs, allowing more local control and flexibility compared to general law cities that follow the state's legal framework. The city manager operates on what's called a council manager form of government. So the council manager form of government is a structure used by many cities where the council sets the policies and the appointed city manager oversees administrative operations. The council is the elected body responsible for legislative functions such as enacting ordinances, adopting budgets, setting policy direction, and then the city manager is appointed by the city council, who is the professional responsible for managing the day-to-day operations of City Hall, implementing council policies, and preparing the budget. As you know, we have 4 council members that are elected by district that serve a 4-year term. And then we have a directly elected mayor that also serves a 4-year term, but with a term limit of 2 terms. And then the mayor pro tem is rotated amongst the city council annually in December. And then for our general municipal elections, they are held in November of even-numbered years. Here's an overview of our organization. So as I said, you have the mayor and city council at the top, who are elected by the citizens or voters of Desert Hot Springs. The 2 positions that the mayor and council hires are the city manager and the city attorney. And then under the city manager, you have the deputy city manager and assistant city manager, and then each of the city departments and various divisions that fall under each. And before we go on, is there any questions? All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Tuan, who's going to go over some statutes that we all have to abide by.
Good evening. So we have several important statutes that apply to commissioners as well as council members. One of these is the Political Reform Act. And in general, this statute concerns, or rather prohibits, any financial interest that could impact your decision making. So things like, if anything you're voting on could potentially affect your business, could affect one of your properties, good or bad. If that effect has a material financial effect, you have to disclose it, and generally you have to recuse yourself. Sometimes that can happen. You might see it at a council meeting every now and then when something they vote on, they own property or live close by to what is being voted on. The second statute is the Ralph Brown Act, and this one is very, very important. And this one deals with how you conduct meetings such as this. Basically, you cannot discuss anything that isn't on the agenda. And while the public has the opportunity to speak on anything that's on the agenda or within your subject matter jurisdiction, that same freedom doesn't necessarily apply to the Public Safety Commission. You're limited to what is on the agenda. Now, if you all want to discuss something, you can always talk to Gerald and ask him to put it on the next agenda and discuss it then. The other important aspect of the Brown Act is meetings can occur outside of City Hall, and those meetings could get you in trouble. Things like, let's say, Commissioner A calls Commissioner B, calls Commissioner C, a series of phone calls or text messages. Because there were 3 of you forming a majority, that constitutes a meeting. And normally, it has to be agendized. It has to be open to the public. So it can be very, very easy to run afoul of this rule. So just be aware. You'll get additional training later on. But for now, make sure that you only discuss public safety business during these official meetings and not outside or amongst yourselves. The third statute is AB 1234. And this statute requires at least 2 hours of ethics training during your first year, and then 2 hours of training every 2 years thereafter. And I believe Gerald sent you a link to the FPPC, which provides you with this training material. And my firm also provides additional materials that we can help you with if you so choose. Thank you.
Are there any questions? I want to give an example about what Tuan touched on about the Brown Act. Occasionally, we may get residents that come here to express like an issue. So going along with what Tuan said, because it's not on the agenda, the commission won't be able to discuss it that evening. But you can provide brief responses, such as referring it to staff, or potentially bringing the issue back on a future agenda. So I just wanted to mention that. Okay, role of the Public Safety Commission. I'll turn that over to Tuan again.
So a little history on this commission. It was created as part of a tax measure that the voters approved for the public safety tax. And it was designed to increase funding to promote public safety in this city. And as part of that, this commission exists to make sure that money is being used properly to ensure the public safety is improved in this city. And in addition to that, your duties are generally defined in the ordinance as two things. The first is to act as an advisor between the community, the police department, and the city council. And that role is important because this is an advisory body. You take all the information from staff as well as any information you learn about just being a resident in the city, and come up with solutions, come up with ideas, and advise the council, advise the police what can be done to improve public safety, especially when you have a dedicated tax source to improve that important task. The second thing is to make recommendations relating to the implementation of programs or projects that affect public safety. So those are the two things: to act as an advisor and to make recommendations. And those two things are important. They deal with public safety, they deal with taxpayer money. And those are the duties, those are your primary duties as commissioners of this body. Thank you.
Are there any questions? All right, we can move on to meeting mechanics, or just basic housekeeping items. Communications, so communications with city staff. I would say Deputy Chief or myself will be your point people if there's anything that you want to address with us. Attendance, so there are rules set in place by the City Council for attendance, and I will read directly from the municipal code. So a commission member may request advance permission from the city clerk to be absent at one or more regular special meetings due to extenuating circumstances, and or may request the city clerk to excuse an absence after the fact, where such extenuating circumstances prevented the member from seeking advance permission to be absent. If such permission or excuse is granted by the city clerk, the absent shall not be counted towards the limitations, which are if a member fails to attend 3 consecutive regular meetings or 25% of the duly scheduled meetings of the commission within any calendar year, his or her office shall thereupon become vacant and shall be filled as any other vacancy. Do you have any questions about that? Okay. Meeting agendas, so we kind of touched upon that earlier. So that is required by the Brown Act. For regular meetings, agendas have to be posted, published 72 hours in advance. So for our Thursday night meetings, the agenda usually goes out the Monday prior. The agendas are also posted on our website, as you probably know. And then we also stream these meetings live on our website and then also on our YouTube channel. And then we archive those recordings indefinitely. I'll go ahead and talk about minutes at this time. So we've adopted action form of minutes. So the minutes will reflect not necessarily what was said at the meeting, but what took place. But again, we have the video alongside that'll complement the minutes. Voting, you guys already, went through that. So I passed out some materials that you can take with you. So one is the City Council and Commission meeting guidelines and procedures policy, which applies to the City Council and both of our commissions. As far as parliamentary procedure goes, we've adopted Rosenberg's Rules of Order. You've probably heard of Robert's Rules of Order. Rosenberg's Rules of Order is like a simplified version of Robert's Rules of Order meant for smaller bodies at the municipal level. And then I also provided a cheat sheet on parliamentary procedure. And then what's forthcoming is I'm working on a commission handbook that'll be more comprehensive, and I'll be sending that out shortly. I think that about covers it, and if there's any questions, we're happy to answer.
Okay, I think we're all ready for reports. Unless anyone has any questions really quick about anything? No, we'll go on. We have an animal control monthly report. I don't see Stephanie. Is anyone going to give her report or no?
No, unfortunately, at the last minute, she had to advise that she couldn't be here. So you have your information. If you have any information or any questions based on the information she provided, I will certainly take that and get that answered for you for the next meeting.
Okay. You see how to look at their report? It's, yes, listed right on there. Okay. You want to take a second to look at that real quick? Hit the animal control. There you go. There you go. Okay. As usual, they're always busy. Dead on arrival 25, that's a lot. This is for the month of January. Intakes. Exactly what is an intake when they actually take them to do something? They don't belong to anyone, or?
It could be a found animal or one that was dropped off that someone found, and yeah, so it's one that we'll take into the shelter and then try and find an owner or get it to adoption.
Oh, okay. Okay, anyone have any questions or comments on that report? Hopefully next month you'll meet Stephanie and she will be happy to go over anything else that you would like to know. Okay, we're moving on already. Code compliance, Tyler Messor.
Good evening. So for January 2025, code compliance, we received a total of 133 service requests. We completed 501 inspections. We issued 105 notices of violations. We issued 52 citations totaling $43,100. In January 2025, Officer Human, she issued some requests for proposals to demolish 2 properties that have been a public nuisance for a few years now. One of these properties is going to go to a hearing next month. The next steps after that would be to apply for an abatement warrant to demolish these properties. I was able to successfully close a year-long case regarding some illegal construction at a residential property. With this process, I was able to work with a property owner to educate them on what permits would be required, and then I was able to work with them throughout the inspections to ensure that they passed all their building inspections and all their engineering inspections. Ultimately, the property owner was able to successfully come into compliance. Officer Brock had a case for a vacant residential property on Two Bunch Palms in El Cajon. This property became like a dumping grounds for landscaping and trash. She was able to work with the property owner to not only clean up the property and remove all the junk and trash and the landscape trimmings, but also the property owner filed a no trespassing order, and the property owner came into compliance and posted some signage as well to stop the illegal dumping to help mitigate that. Officer Human had a case against a property at the Vaughn Shopping Center. She got them to submit a new landscape plan and redo all of their landscaping. And then our abatement officer, Pam Chafin, had two really good cases closed regarding inoperable vehicles. These vehicles were a huge public nuisance. They were wrecked and dismantled and sitting at the front of this property. She was able to come into compliance without having to obtain an abatement warrant for these ones. She was able to work with the property owner and just have the property owner have them removed. And that'll conclude my report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. If you look at those pictures, the before and after, they really do clean it up, you know.
I got a couple questions, if you don't mind. Fairly new to the process, but code compliance, is there like a quota monthly thing that you do, or is it like every district gets looked at every month, or how does it really work?
Yeah, so there is no quota on that one. Our department is fairly small. We don't have a large number of officers. We're more of a, we don't go proactive. We're more complaint based. So on our side, when we have time to go proactive, we will. Typically, if we're going to go proactive, we're going to look for areas that are going to make the biggest difference, such as our commercial districts, and then work our way to infill lots. But we are mostly complaint driven.
So like a resident will make a complaint about a neighbor or something like that, and then you guys come out and check? Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Is there anyone else? As usual, you always do a great job, and it's a very good report. I love seeing the before and after. You're always so good.
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you. Yeah, big difference. Okay, we're moving on already. Fire Department monthly report. And who?
Chief White is still tied up in the fires, so he extends his apologies, but hopefully be here next
Absolutely.
month.
Okay, we see his report there. 510 calls, that's amazing. So who is in his place here while he's busy?
He's doing dual duties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's bouncing back and forth, and so
Okay.
unfortunately, yeah.
All right. Okay, does anyone have a question? Captain, Chief?
You can call me whatever you want.
I know. I do outside the meeting, no. Any questions? When he comes back, he's very thorough and he'll answer any questions you may have. And Stephen Shaw, Deputy Police Chief, who I understand will be chief, am I right?
Yes, Chief Henson did announce
He
his
retired?
retirement. He's still here until the 28th,
Right.
and then I've been given the honor and to take over and try and fill some big shoes. So excited to
Well,
do that. But
You'll do just fine.
yeah, I'm excited, and like I said, excited and honored to do it. He's prepared me well over the last 5 years. And like I said, some big shoes to fill, but
I was hoping we'd see him this evening, but yeah.
yeah, but he'll be around, and he's still around. Like I said, he's here till the 28th, but
Right.
he's got a lot that he's prepping to and stuff. But
Good.
he'll be here, and yeah, hopefully you'll be able to get a chance to see him before he leaves.
Congratulations.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
If you come to the next council meeting.
Great.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, so welcome to all of you. Welcome to the returning commissioners, and for the new commissioners, welcome, and thank you all for being here and for your service, for sitting on this commission. So normally, on the police department side, normally what you're going to get that I'll send to you in the agenda package is going to be patrol stats and crime stats from the prior month. On occasion, depending on when our meeting lands. Those are a little bit delayed, or I'll let you know, hey, these are some tentative numbers. It usually takes a week into the new month to get those numbers all up to date and accurate as some of the reports get finalized and turned in and stuff. I don't normally go over all of the crime stats, so you have them there. If there's something that's big, that's a big jump or a big dip in something, then I'll address that and let you know, hey, this is what we're seeing with this trend of why we're seeing this drop or we're seeing this increase. So when we look at January, we've actually have a decrease in January 2025 than what we had in January of 2024. So at the bottom of the crime stat report, you see 2025 totals, which is 104. Now, the crimes that are listed on this crime stat report, there's a lot more crimes, as I'm sure you're aware. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds. We report out on what's called the NIBR system, and the crimes are divided up into group offense. There's group A offense, B offense, C offense. So typically what you're going to get is the group A offense, and those are the most serious crimes, the majority of those being person crimes, crimes against people. There are some property crimes that are in there, burglary, vehicle theft, which are some of the main ones that you'll see there. But overall, for the month of January, it was 104 crimes, and that was a drop from 2024, which was 155 crimes. And we've seen this gradual drop over the last several years, and it's strictly because of the efforts of the officers that are out there in the field, and being proactive and making a difference out there in the community. And sometimes we get little spikes up and stuff, and we'll talk about that as that happens, but it's great to continue to see this drop in the crime. The other sheet that you have there is the patrol stats, and what that is, I'll give you a monthly update on how many calls have come into our dispatch center, the event types, the arrest, how many arrests we've made during the month, and then the citations. So when you look at that, for the month of January, we had 2,809 calls into the dispatch center. Now, some of those are officer-initiated, and some of those are calls into the center. So officer-initiated is normally the officers being proactive, and they're going out and they're doing a patrol check, or they see a crime in progress or something like that, or they're making a traffic stop. Those are what's officer-initiated. On the event types, again, it's just broken down. There's more events that officers do every month, but we break it down to the 4 top events that officers do, and typically that's what you're going to see there is the traffic stops, the patrol checks, the building checks that officers are doing. And these are the things that they're doing mostly when folks are asleep at night, and they're going to checking the closed businesses, in the vacation homes and that type of stuff. The arrests, we had 61 arrests in the month of January. Last year at this time we had 92 arrests, so a little bit drop in the arrest. And then citations, 179 citations. The majority of those citations are going to be traffic citations. So we'll talk each month, and normally those citations run in about 170, 200 a month. So a lot of times we get questioned, hey, are officers out there doing traffic stops and citing people? Because sometimes you just don't see the officers out there, but they are. They're doing a lot of traffic stops, a lot of citations. And then beyond just the citations, what you see here, it's just not only 179 people that were stopped. Officers stopped a lot of people and then just give them a verbal warning or something.
Right.
So a stop doesn't always necessarily mean that you're going to get a citation. So there's a couple of different things there. And then the other thing I just like to talk about, if there's any updates going on with the police department, I want to give you that. And so we already talked about the chief's retirement. I think that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest news for us right now. But a couple of things going on. If you're not aware, we are getting ready to break ground on the new building that's going next to the police department. So if you're looking at the front of the police department to the left, you'll see an empty parking lot there. There's a couple trailers in there right now. One of those trailers is a temporary housing trailer for our detective unit. The other trailer was the old code compliance trailer. We don't have anybody in there now, but we are going to be utilizing that for task force and other forces coming in and giving them some office space in the city. But in that parking lot is going to be the new annex building that will, it's not going to be attached to the current police department, but it's going to be next to it. And it's going to house new locker rooms, new men and women locker rooms. It's going to have office space and desk space for our detectives, for our task force officers, for our specialized teams such as our traffic officer, our homeless officer. There's going to be a large briefing and training room so that not only can we do our briefings in a real room, but we can bring in training, and we can do training for all of Coachella Valley once we have that room set up, because it'll be able to accommodate a lot of folks. And then we talked about the lockers, and then there's some storage, some evidence storage spaces in there, and then parking. So initially we were looking at, this has been a few years in the making, and so initially there's the public safety campus, which is the police department, and then the fire department, Station 37, which is right next to that. There would be a wall that encompasses all of those buildings. And that's going to be the public safety campus. And then down the road, what we're still working on different phases is some tenant improvements to Station 37 there, and then some additional parking and some shade structures, that type of stuff on the PD side. So this week is a pre-construction. The construction has been awarded to a construction company. This week is a pre-construction meeting, and then we should know, hopefully, by the first part of next week of when that groundbreaking is going to take place. And my understanding is something will be put out by the city, because I do want to have folks there to break ground on that. So we're excited about that. The next thing I usually like to talk about is our staffing levels. We're not doing too bad. We just picked up a new community service officer. Gabriela Camacho, we will be introducing her at an upcoming council meeting. We have one police officer that is in field phase training. So when an officer comes out of either comes out of the academy or they complete their training, maybe they're doing it on their own, self-sponsored, they have to go through a field training program at the police department. Typically, this is a 16-week program, and every month they get assigned to a new training officer, and that's an officer that's been specifically trained for field training. And there's certain requirements from POST, and POST is the organization, the state organization. It's police officers, standards, and training, and they dictate how we train, and they control our license. So we have a license to be a police officer, just like you have a license to be a doctor or anything like that. So they set up standards that we have to meet, and that the new trainee, the new officer, has to meet in order to pass training. And again, typically that's a 16-week program with 4 phases. So we have an officer right now that just went into phase 2, so she's moving along very nicely through that. Once she completes that, then she'll be out on her own, still learning, always training throughout your entire career, but she'll be able to operate as a solo officer in the field. And then we just hired one new dispatcher. So our dispatch, we are budgeted for 10 full-time dispatchers. We have 10, but a couple months ago we got word, one of our dispatchers, that she was going to be moving out of state. So we kind of looked ahead, and we found an applicant that met our qualifications, and she's actually, tomorrow is her last piece of the puzzle. We've already given her a conditional job offer. Once you do the conditional job offer, then they go and they do a physical, that type of thing, and she's just wrapping that up. And so hopefully within the next couple of weeks, she'll be coming in at around the same time that our current dispatcher is moving out of state, so we won't miss a beat there. So that's exciting. And then we have 5 or 6 police officers that are going at some point in our background process. Where either they're polygraph, which is the first phase of it, or they've actually gone to a backgrounds investigator that's doing the background. So we're looking pretty good at, hopefully in the next several months, getting those folks through background and getting them on board and filling those few spots that we still have left, and getting us up to full staffing. So we're looking forward to that. And then the last thing I'll just mention is our next meeting. So we do an annual report on the police department. So, and that annual report covers a lot of topics like the crime stats for the entire year, our staffing for the entire year, our recruiting and retention efforts. It talks about our dispatch center, our record center. So in our next meeting, that crime report just got completed. It's just going through the process up to the city manager's office. So in our next meeting, you guys will have that. And there's a lot of information. It's about 20 pages long, a lot of information in there. And then we can talk about that more. And again, it's from last year. It's from 2024. And what it does, it compares the year that we just finished to the prior year, so we can see where our trends are. And that helps us develop what our patrol strategies are going to be and our policing strategies are going to be for the upcoming year, and where we need to apply our resources for that. So you'll get that report, and then we can have some discussion on that, and I can answer any questions for that. So, but that's my report for today. Again, welcome, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them tonight for you.
Okay, thank you so much. As usual, it's a wonderful report. And I just have a question before anyone. We talked about all the different things you're doing for the new addition and all. Is dispatch staying where they're at?
Dispatch is all set where they're at. Yeah, they'll stay in the building they're currently
okay,
in, so we don't
okay.
have to move them.
Okay. And can the new commissioners tour if they wish to?
Yeah, so obviously, the current building, we just finished up this last year with some tenant improvements in the current building. And certainly, if anybody wants to come by, I'm happy to give anybody a tour of the facility. You can see
Okay.
what we have going on there, and then I can show you where the new
Very
building is
nice.
going to go. But yeah, just reach out to me. I'll leave some business cards after the meeting. Reach out, and I'm happy to
Okay.
do
Good,
that.
thank you. Anyone else have some questions or comments on anything? My, we're quickly going through everything.
All right.
It seems that we're all done with our reports except for the commissioner reports, and that would be me and our vice chairman and the new commissioners that would like to say anything. My only comment is that I'm happy to see everyone and I welcome you all. And I hope I do the best job that I've ever done here. I'll try to be more formal and not joking and things like that. Come on, I know. Anyway, that's my report. You know, this rain, it's really, to me, amusing because it's like, oh, it's raining. And, and I'm sure that most of us have come from areas that were worse than this, but we just don't see it. So I wish you all to be very careful. And thank you for wanting me to do this. I think I need a pillow under me, but that's okay. I can see everybody. Okay, next, Mike Rizzio, would you like to?
I have three reports that I'm going to put you through real quick. Okay, let's see. Residents have expressed concerns about the current state of our fire hydrant system, particularly in light of the issues observed during the LA fires. On January 23rd, I met with Brian Massey, General Manager of Mission Springs Water District, and Marion Champion, the Assistant Manager of the Mission Springs Water District, to discuss the fire hydrant system within the Desert Hot Springs. He provided a full breakdown in a PowerPoint presentation detailing how the system functions. Mission Springs Water District ensures regular inspections, flushing, and repairs to maintain optimal hydrant performance and fire response readiness. They have a real tight ship, and if we have any kind of thing like that happened to LA, there's nothing to worry about, unless we have an 8.0 earthquake at the same time.
Or the wind is blowing.
Yeah, so residents are encouraged to report any hydrant issues to the Mission Springs Water District, and if you see any unauthorized use of a hydrant, that is prohibited, and as it may affect emergency response capabilities. So that could inhibit, the functions of the fire hydrants. And during the summer, that's been a big problem because, the homeless are hot, and, you can't blame them for wanting to turn on the water. But if anybody happens to see that, it's good to report it so they can go and inspect that hydrant and make sure that it's functional. Okay. In my second report, on Wednesday, February 5th, I received a call from a concerned resident regarding safety issues at a local bus stop, particularly those near the grocery stores. The resident reported witnessing individuals engaging in drug use, specifically in with a tinfoil and a straw. These activities had created an unsafe and unwelcoming environment for residents who rely on public transportation. The obstructed access, commuters who depend on the bus for work and essential errands are unable to use the stops comfortably. Senior citizen safety, elderly residents have expressed fear of using the bus due to presence of vagrants and illegal activities at the bus stops. Public nuisance, the unsafe environment at these bus stops affects the overall well-being and security of the community. And my response and my actions taken were I immediately notified the chief of police, Chief Henson, about the matter. He assured me that he would inform patrol officers and the designated homeless officers to address the situation. Okay. Am I okay? I'm getting a dead stare. Okay, so the public awareness campaign is something that would be a good effort to follow on educate the community on reporting concerns and utilizing available safety resources, implementation of a curfew, and I'm working on this right now with Jampai, the council lady that appointed me. Designate bus stops as restricted areas during late night hours to reduce criminal activity. So we're setting up meetings through the liaison, Councilman Pitts, to work with the Sunline bus line to hopefully get them to impose that curfew, and then that'll make them responsible for security patrols on those bus stops after hours. You know, hopefully lightening up a load for you guys a little bit. And another thing that I brought up, and I got a little bit of resistance on, but I think we need to research this, is making those areas, since they're already in safety zones, drug-free zone designations in those areas. And what that'll do is that'll double or triple the fine if somebody's out there using drugs in the bus stop and hampering the operation of the bus stop and people using the bus stop. And I've been told that, well, they won't pay the fine, but it'll go to a warrant. And then after that, they'll make them more accountable for their actions. Let's see. So we have meetings with that, and I'm not sure if that needs to go to an agenda or with this situation.
Is this something you want on the future agenda?
Yeah.
I think then you could talk to Gerald about it.
Okay. Okay, and then my third report is on February 5th, 2025, a concerned resident contacted me regarding the speed limit in front of the new Mavericks truck stop on South Palm Drive. Currently, the speed limit is set at 60 miles per hour, which may pose safety risks given the presence of commercial truck traffic and potential pedestrian activity. Commercial truck traffic, the research indicates that a maximum speed limit of 50 miles per hour is recommended in areas with significant commercial truck movement to allow for safe braking distances and maneuverability. Pedestrian safety, if pedestrian traffic is present, the recommended maximum speed limit is 40 miles per hour to reduce the risk of accidents and improve reaction time for both drivers and pedestrians. High speeds near truck stops can increase the likelihood of accidents, particularly during peak business hours when trucks are entering and exiting the facility. I contacted the city engineer and the assistant manager, Daniel Porras, and he agreed that the current speed limit may be too high. He also informed me that the city is currently conducting a citywide speed study, which is legally required for setting and changing speed limits. He assured me that he would keep me updated on the progress and any potential adjustments to the speed limit in this area in front of the Mavericks. The speed limit reduction recommended lowering the speed limit to 50 miles an hour in alignment with commercial truck traffic standards. If pedestrian activity is observed, further reduction to 40 should be considered. Support the city's ongoing speed study and review its findings once available, and signage, and ensure that there's clear speed limit signage, and coordinate with local law enforcement to ensure compliance. And that concludes my reports for this evening.
Well, Commissioner Rizzio, that was great. Where are you getting all this information? It's wonderful. And did you want to make a motion for something for it to be put on the agenda?
Well, I would like to have the bus stop situation put on the agenda because there's a lot of moving parts that need to be addressed.
Okay, how would you like to put that on the agenda, as to what, call it?
We can call it the public safety concerns at local bus stops.
Madam Chair, so I'm seeing, this is coming from Commissioner Rizzio, and I'm seeing support from at least you, so that is 2. So I can go ahead and just put this on the agenda. There's motion isn't necessary.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, next, I'm sorry, I don't know your last name again?
Ray Sanchez.
Sanchez, sorry, okay, please.
Not too much to report, being the first meeting I'm attending, getting to know exactly what's what, and I think my biggest, not concern, but question would be like budgeting, things like that we would be look into. Like my biggest concern in the city right now is like lighting. There's a lot of areas that's super dark in the city. So I don't know, in regards to like budgets and stuff like that, when or what we would get into to look into like certain areas to be utilized, stuff like that?
Well, I believe we do get the budget to look at it, and when is that?
Yeah, so the city does a 2-year budget cycle, so we are at the end of this 2-year budget cycle, so I would guess that probably around April, May is when the budget for the next 2 years will be presented to city council as well as you guys.
And then we would go over, and we have questions as
Right.
we bring it up. Okay,
But I appreciate everybody's time and meeting everybody too. Thank you.
thank you. Commissioner Myrna,
Well, thank you for giving me the honor to be here. I would like to ask if we can add to the agenda for next time. I wanted to talk about the speed limit or possibly maybe speed bumps on Choya where the high school is at, because I see a big problem there with speeding. And sometimes you have kids walking and there's only a sidewalk on one side of the street. There's no sidewalk on the other side. So if we can put that on the agenda, if everybody else agrees.
Am I allowed to talk to her?
Yes.
That is being, you're talking about the little stretch of road between Hacienda and Two Bunch?
It's Pearson, from Pearson
Yeah.
to, I forget what the other, I think it's Hacienda.
Where it narrows down, right?
Yes, no, I'm talking about the street before it narrows down where they speed. So people
Oh,
are dropping
okay.
off their kids at school and they think they can fly because they're late. So my concern is that one of these days, there's going to be a mishap. And I think speed limits would, not speed limit, speed bumps would be an addition so I would like to see if we can put that on the agenda so we can discuss it further.
Okay. Is there support from another commissioner or the chair?
Well, I was going to say that we have a current, it's not really an agenda, but the city the city engineer has added that stretch of road that's narrow.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
a
on
problem?
the other side though, it's from the.
Well, they added that to the ball field and everything for the safety, so we could probably discuss that and get it on the agenda and get that added as well, maybe, because that's going to be a pedestrian safety issue for the park when it's built.
There you go.
you know?
so are you supporting,
Yes.
okay?
Okay, thank you.
Is that it?
Yes.
Thank you very much. And Commissioner Charles?
Well, the only thing I really had to address was what Commissioner Sanchez has already brought to the attention, the speed limit there in front of Maverick. I do maintain a Class A license as a certified trainer for Carvana, so I'd be happy to contribute any information or training or whatnot to remedy that, the stopping distance for commercial vehicles and whatnot. Other than that, that's all I have to address with that, but I want to thank you, everybody, for the opportunity to serve on the commission. I do have a criminal justice background and served 15 years within the local casino community, so pro law enforcement, and just looking forward to working with each of you and making this town back like it used to be when I was a little kid, 1978. Thank you.
Wow. Well, I'm glad to see that we have some long-term people here.
Commissioner Sanchez has also been here forever.
I've been here since 1962, so I've seen a lot of good stuff and bad stuff, but I like it here, and I'm happy with everything. I think we've improved. It's just, I don't know why we have no tourists walking our downtown street. And one of the reasons is we don't have any stores or anything to welcome anyone, and I would like to see something happen. I don't know what. I know they do these surveys and nothing happens. They go out to these different people, stores, big stores and stuff, and I still never see anything happen. So anyway, I love the city. Thank you for all you new guys. I appreciate you, and I appreciate being the chairman and Mr. Rizzio. And next month, it shall be Chief Shaw, and I congratulate you and thank you very much. And as always, it's good to see our code Tyler here all the time. I love your hat. I thought it was me at first, but no, it is blinking. So if there's nothing else to discuss, are we all happy with everything? Uh-oh.
Would you mind,
No.
would you mind asking new commissioners about their background a little bit? So the community can understand who they are and where they come from?
Okay, I think we've heard something from Commissioner Charles. Would you like to add to that?
Yeah, I'll also just add that I'm a disabled veteran of 10 years for the 160th Special Operations. So, and I've been here so long that Edward Winsloff was my principal.
Oh, I knew him well, yeah, that's funny, yeah. Good. And we have Myrna. I'm sorry, what is your last name, Myrna?
Flores.
Oh, right.
Myself also knew Mr. Winslow. He was my children's principal, and so I personally met him because both my daughters went to school here.
How funny.
I have been here, it's going to be 50 years,
Good,
yeah, that I have lived here in Desert Hot Springs.
good.
Yes.
That's great to hear, yeah.
So my background, I worked for a vocational school for adults for over 30 years. And then I retired from that, and now I'm a planning advisor
Oh,
for a funeral. I sell funeral insurance, so that's easier
Oh.
to understand for most people. Yes.
oh, wonderful.
And my oldest daughter was a firefighter for CAL FIRE for 17 years.
Wow,
Yes. And
Great.
I have, 5 grandchildren and 5 great-grandchildren, so. And I love Desert Hot Springs. I have voiced this before where I say that I love Desert Hot Springs because we are a very diversified city, and we have a beautiful view of the Mount San Jacinto, so,
we actually have the best view.
yes, we do.
You know, we do, and people don't understand that. However, you know, we do have a number of fabulous spas that most people are not aware of, and Two Bunch Palms, you know, very good. We have lots of things going on, and we just don't talk about it, but we all know about it, and that's a wonderful thing. And my mother was a substitute teacher at Winslow for years, Maria Richardson. Yeah, and she has the little park named after her, Maria Richardson Field on 8th Street, yeah. Yeah, so she was a little hot spit woman. I'm telling you, that little redheaded lady, she did everything. Mr. Sanchez?
Yes, thank you. Well, I'm Ray Sanchez. I've been here all my life. I was, raised here, born in Palm Springs, but raised here in Desert Hot Springs all my life. Went to school out here, went to college in Orange County for a little bit, came back and got my business and economics degree, and then I got 3 children. My oldest just graduated University of Idaho, did a full ride, a football scholarship there, and
Wow.
he just graduated, came back home. Now he's doing his HR, working in HR now with his degree. I got another son at San Bernardino right now, and then my daughter's at 8th grade, going to be a freshman next year. I coached pretty much all sports here. So a lot of these kids that were young, they know me as Coach Ray, just growing up here. I played ball Little League here all my life too, AYSO, multiple awards for best athlete for so many years. Me and my brothers, I have 4 brothers, so we grew up here.
Oh,
My dad
wonderful.
coached us here. So the community's a big part of my family.
Wonderful.
I know DHS pretty well.
Good.
So I feel like it was time to do my part, jump in here and get involved with the city and something that I have pride, with the city especially. But I appreciate everybody and thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Mr. Rizzio, they don't know anything about you. Let's hear about you.
Well, let's see, I'm going to be 65 in April.
Yay.
I'm still young compared to you. I can't say that.
Oh, my God. I'm 81, okay? Now we all know. I'll be 82 in August.
Well, I worked on the San Bernardino Fire Department for 5 years when I was young. And then from there I went into the U.S. Navy, and I stayed there for almost 15 years as
Oh, God bless you.
a U.S. Navy Seabee in
Oh,
the Naval Construction Battalions.
wow.
It was a good life.
On the ship?
No, I wasn't. I was one of the very few ground pounders in the Navy.
Wow.
I didn't have any ship duty. I mean, they transported us different places, but sometimes
Thank
some
you
places
for
I
your
didn't want to go.
service. Thank you for your service.
And then I got hurt in the military, and then I went into a disability for 23 years. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't use my legs.
And
couldn't do
Desert
anything.
Hot Springs did it.
Well, I moved out here and the environment, the water,
The heat?
everything, the heat,
Absolutely.
you know, and everything about the town helped me heal. The people, you know, there's a lot of great people here that
Yes.
didn't have to spend any time with me. You know, they just got me up on my feet, and I wasn't sure I wanted to do that because I've been sick for so long. And
Yeah,
just running the joystick, you know.
that's,
So here I am, and it's
Good
time for me to
story,
serve
yeah.
my city. And you know, now that I got my mind back and I'm physically able to get around on my own and do the things that I need to do, you know, it's time to give back.
good.
That's what I'm
Thank
doing.
you so much.
And I appreciate all of you.
Last thing, I'm the general manager for Five Star Gym. There's two gyms, one in
Oh.
Yucca Valley and here in town. So if you guys ever need assistance or any of that,
Yeah.
just
there
come to
you
the gym.
go.
Yeah, I got that guy here twice a day. He comes, Mr. Councilman over there.
We know him. Well, and just for myself, now you know I'm 81. I feel good. I have a bum leg right now, but I'm working on that. So, and I've just been here since 62. I've seen everything. I know where all the bodies are buried. And when I came out here, my father passed away at a young age, 47, in Chicago, in court. He was a bailiff. And so she wanted all of us to come out here. There were 8 of us to be near her mom, who lived in Desert Hot Springs. And we're from Chicago. And we did that. And I fell in love with the desert immediately. I mean, the same old story I tell everyone. I got off the Greyhound bus to visit my grandma. I turned around and I looked at everything and I said, I'm home. And never regretted 1 second of being out here. Of course, no, I'm not even going to say that. Forget that. But I love it here, and I've been involved in lots of things that I can't even imagine and remember to say, because I am 81. And I'm really nobody, and I just love everything, and I love everybody, and I appreciate doing this again. And like I said, my son, we have a community center named after him, Henry Lozano Community Center. And then my mom, the Maria Richardson Field. And I think that's all that I know. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. And I think that's it for me. So if you have any questions about any of us, please now. Or I'm going to adjourn this meeting at 7 o'clock. See you next month on the 13th as well.
Thank you.
I like that. Oh,
You could have done a little part.
okay.
There you go.
Whoa, there you go.
I gotta go to my next meeting.
Oh, thank you, Jen. So you're at our table. Okay. Thank you.